Hello, how are you doing today? I'm super excited to be back, and I have kind of a fun topic to bring up today that I thought might be a good way to do things. So as you all know, it is a super hot market. The homes are flying off the shelves, the sellers are getting top dollar for their listings, and it is just super busy. So buyers are getting super frustrated, and they're doing anything and everything they can in order to be the one that comes out ahead on the purchase. This is even more reason why, as a buyer, you need representation. You need an agent that is on your side to help make sure that as you are going in and putting offers on homes, that you are being represented and represented well. So I've heard questions, a lot of questions with buyers specifically as to why do I need a real estate agent? We hear this all the time. So I thought the very best way might be to show you guys this form. This is the unrepresented buyer disclosure form. So if you are a selling agent and a buyer comes forward and they say, I think I'm going to make the seller more money, so I'm going to come in unrepresented. There's a few things that go into that. Number one, the seller has already committed with their listing brokerage an amount of commission set aside. The brokerage that puts that listing onto the MLS platform for all the other agents to see puts a portion that they say they will pay as a buyer's agent commission. That is already committed. The contract is already in place between the listing brokerage and the seller. At that point, the commission is between the listing broker and the buyer's broker. So the seller actually is not involved in that anymore. They've already committed that. So by saying I'm going to come in unrepresented and be able to reduce what I'm paying on this house because it's going to help the seller, guess what? It's not. It's not, because the seller already has that contract with the listing brokerage. So with that in mind, the listing brokerage would then have you sign this form. And this form, I'm going to hurry and read a couple of parts of it to you so that you can understand just what you're really getting when you get a real estate agent. So the seller's agent. A real estate agent who lists a seller's property for sale, the seller's agent, acts as the agent for the seller only. They have a fiduciary duty of loyalty, full disclosure, confidentiality, and reasonable care to that seller. In particular terms, the seller hires a seller's agent to locate a buyer and negotiate a transaction with terms favorable to the seller. Although the seller's agent has these fiduciary duties to the seller's agent is also, by law, responsible to all prospective buyers to treat them with honesty, fair dealings, and good faith, but not to make sure that in fiduciary duties that they are making sure you get the best deal as the buyer. So as you sign this form, the buyer's agent, a real estate agent that acts as an agent for the buyer only, has the same fiduciary duties to the buyer that the seller's agent has to the seller. So in practical terms, the buyer hires a buyer's agent to locate a suitable property and negotiate a transaction with terms favorable to the buyer. Although the buyer's agent has these fiduciary duties to the buyer's agent is by law responsible to all prospective sellers to treat them with honesty, fair dealing, and good faith. So even though we have to treat you fairly, it does not mean that our fiduciary responsibilities are to the other party. Our fiduciary responsibilities are to the party that we represent. So you are giving that away. If you're saying, I don't even want an agent at all, you're giving away someone that's going to say, I am going to get you the very most favorable deal that I can get you. So if you're thinking about it and you're like, I'm not sure what I want to do, call me. I think you need a buyer's agent.